Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that should help out. Let me know. You've got an ad going on right now, so that's cool. I'll give you a sec. Great, great. You guys can hear me. Thank goodness. Well, I am so glad that everything is working. Finally, and I'm glad that you stuck around with me. Cat's Call says baby seals. Yes, I did have to beat a few in order to get my stream to work, which tends to happen, and now there's an echo. Is that correct, Lepidus? Of Rune Totem, is there an echo? How is the audio on? Zonix says, so it just started? Yes. Yes, it just started. Not anymore. There's no more an echo. No longer an echo. Great. I'm glad there's no echo. Today is a very unique day because I have two cameras on my monitor right now. So this is me looking between my two cameras. And the reason I have two cameras looking directly at me is because I am streaming to two different places. I'm streaming to Twitch TV, and I am streaming to YouTube, which might help explain a little bit why there's lag. If there's lag, ladies and gentlemen, you need to let me know, and I can try to take steps to rectify it. But it should still be a fairly clear broadcast. Anyway, this is episode 201. Slight lag, but it's fine. Okay, great. Well, you might have a slight... Yeah, okay. Sorry, you guys are distracting me with your comments. I should stop reading comments right now, just so that I can get into the swing of the show, and then I'll get back into the comments. Dr. Art says, last time I was here was episode 101. Well, sir, 100 weeks later, you are here, and I'm glad. That's nearly 2 years, but I'm so glad that you're back. We do have a great program for everybody installed today. Zonix says, big celebration like the 200th episode, right? Well, yes, last week was the big celebration. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a 2-hour-plus long episode up on scotchandsmokedrinks.com, so you can watch the replay probably after the show. But right now, this is episode 201, and it will be the actual 4-year anniversary of this show during episode 208. So I am planning some interesting things for episode 208. I'm going to try and get some guest hosts. I'm going to try and get some bacon grilling. I'm going to try a bunch of things. No promises, but hopefully it'll be a fun broadcast. Anyway, thank you for coming to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 201. We have a great program installed for you today. Today we are going to be smoking this. This is not a bad substance. This is, in fact, tobacco. Forsaken Rules says, where are those suspenders? As I was explaining before the program started today, while the audio was muted, I am wearing a very special kind of suspenders today. The kind that are designed to go under your clothing. I would show them to you, but then you would see my amazingly torn chest, and I don't really feel that that is suitable for a classy program, so I won't be showing those off. However, I am wearing suspenders. The full set bonus is in effect. You just can't see the suspenders. So, but we're smoking pipe tobacco today, and actually I have to decide which pipe I want to use. I want to use this one. This is the pipe I'm going to smoke today. This is an Israeli briar pipe. Made from briar tobacco that was grown in Israel. And I am looking forward to igniting it with my fire. Zonix says, classy six-packs are always classy. Well, I'm glad you have such faith in my physical prowess underneath this shirt. You're right. I do have a 6-pack there. Sometimes I refer to them as my guns. I hope that is correct. I'm not sure what the appropriate verbiage is for the bro culture. But those are my 6-packs. And it would just make me feel like I'm bragging to take the shirt off and share them with you all. But they're there. Ironbark says, wait, really? What's the name of your book, Ox? And where might I get it? Well, you know what? I'm actually going to get to that a little bit later. I have a strategy. I'm going to wait until there are more people watching, and then I'll show off my book. So, hold that thought, Ironbark, and I will be sure to show it off. Book, says Burgundy22. Man, you guys are just egging me on. Everyone's like, book, book, book. And I'm like, well, I just want to grab it. But now I gotta wait. People tend to roll in a little late. So I'm gonna wait until about halfway through the show. See, now they're saying what... I'm ignoring chat for now. I'm going to light my tobacco pipe, set it on fire, and then we will talk about books and video games and politics and life in general. Fan art. That's right. Uber Ralphamel says, I put the book in my fan art. Fan art, that reminds me. I need to get the fan art up on my browser. Which I will do. I hadn't had a chance to do it since I got home because I was struggling with my very complicated setup that I've got going here. I'm actually surprised that I'm able to broadcast 2 completely different streams in high definition at 1080p from the same computer over the same internet connection. It's true, I had to turn off absolutely everything on my computer, except for my streaming software and maybe one browser window, but I'm doing it. Forsaken Rules says, I mean no offense, Oxhorn, but I'm actually getting tired of people asking, Oxhorn wrote a book? You know, I am all about education here at scotchandsmokerings.com, and if there are people in this world that have a question that only I can answer, I feel it behooves the universe that I open up my mouth and share my knowledge. So when someone comes to me and says, oh, Oxhorn, I have a quandary, someone said you wrote a book, is this true? I would be harming the universe if I didn't respond and said, yes, good sir, I will educate you. I did indeed write a book, and it is on sale. So, as much as I appreciate your thoughts there, Uber Raffle Mao, I'm going to have to disagree for the good of the people. I'm just noble that way. Kenpo Kid says, Oxhorn wrote a book. See? I am justified here. I'm just doing the world a favor. Whoops. I think I packed this a little too tight. Ooh. Burn myself. Alright. So then we crush the ash. Which will make a more even smoke. It's not working today. The draw is too rough, which means I probably need to release the pack a bit. Or actually, it might be completely plugged. We're performing pipe surgery here on Scotch and Smoke Rings today. There we go. Gotta remove the plug. There, much better. But Now it's time to relight it. I performed the surgery. I removed the cancer. Oh, I forgot to put wax in my mustache. Doggone it. And I don't realize it until I try to blow a smoke ring. And the mustache hangs over my mouth, so I can't blow a smoke ring. Alright, here we go. Hold on a minute here. Well, I kind of got half of one there. I'll keep trying, guys. This is going to be a fantastic episode. Stick with me. I'm going to be blowing awesome smoke rings despite the rebellion of my mustache. Okay, so for my friends on Twitch TV, who obviously haven't seen this program before, no, this is not weed, despite the fact I do live in Seattle and it's legal here. It's not a hobby of mine. It is in fact pipe tobacco, and you can tell because it has a distinct English blend appearance. It is distinctly an English blend pipe tobacco. Hate to burst bubbles, and I hate to disappoint, but that's the reality. Isabel says, wow, mistype after sending me a heart. How is that a mistype? I accept hearts. Alright, well, what is Scotch and smoke rings without the Scotch? Today we have a number of different beverages that you can choose between. I believe, how many Scotches did we drink last week? I think we had a couple. Today I'm going to be drinking some Grant's blended Scotch whiskey, just because it's nice. And I want to make sure my other bottles can last a while. So here we go. One nice shot of Grant's blended Scotch whiskey. Ninja of WoW says bullet. Yes, everybody watching for the first time. Everyone in the show knows the drinks that I have on my counter. I do have a bottle of bullet, but it has lasted a long time and it will be lasting for quite some time. We are drinking Grant's blended Scotch whiskey instead. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. Very nice. Mustache is completely thwarting me. I'm gonna have to hold it back. And now it's my hand. Oh well. We'll get there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Fan art time. Now, for those new to the program, there are many creative and talented Photoshop experts here in the audience today, and they tend to do rather amazing things with their fine Photoshop programs, usually about my face. They'll distort it, they'll make it better, which I do think it's probably pretty easy. But the point is that these guys create some epic fan art, and I try every week to show it off in the best way that I possibly can. So I'm right now I'm bloviating because I'm trying to get to the Scotch and Smoke Rings Facebook group, and Chrome just said that the page needs to die, so it killed the page. Great, now it's reloading. Anyway, I'm trying to get to the Scotch and Smoke Rings Facebook group where the fans have put all of their fan art. I'm waiting for it to load. Waiting for it to load. Anyway. Bobby Swag says beard needs trimming. My friend, when you have a beard like this, you don't dare trim it. When every strand is pure and utter gold, you just can't afford to harm it with shears. So, what can you do? Ninja of WoW rightly says, grow a beard. Beard! Indeed. That is the philosophy here at scotchandsmokerings.com. What does your boss think of that beard, Oxhorn, says Rolleron. I don't know what he thinks. Well, alright, so just to put it in context, my boss hired me when I had a much shorter beard. And since then, I have, of course, let it go. On purpose. This was done with purpose. It's not because I forgot how to shave. It's because I have purposeful feelings against shaving for my own chin. Anyway, during that time, my career has continued to grow, and I've started to get some attention from other people in the industry. And so he gets calls and emails from other people wanting to hire me. And he doesn't want them to hire me because he wants me to stay at the company. And so he will say things like, okay, you want Oxhorn now, but you haven't seen him yet. Here, let me send you a photo. And then he'll send them a recent photo of me. Apparently, that tends to do the trick. And suddenly, no one wants to hire me. So, that's his way of making sure I stay at the company. But hey, I would rather have this manly man before you than work anywhere else. And the fact that my boss not only tolerates but enjoys what you see before you is, in my personal opinion, great job security. Rolleron says, ouch. Works, I guess. Well, I've been trying this entire time to get to my Scotch and Smoke Greens group on Facebook, but it must be something to do with my streaming situation, because every time I try and load Facebook, it crashes on me. So, I know, guys. I know you guys worked really hard on the fan art. I'm trying to get to it. I mean, I could always pull it up on my phone and then hold my phone up, right? I'd probably disappoint a little bit if I did that, because it wouldn't be showing off the fan art in its pure glory. Salty says, what kind of food do you eat from day to day? Well, my primary staple are the souls of slaughtered baby gnomes. Tends to be my primary substance. I also, like Superman, have a kryptonite. And my personal kryptonite is hummus. I cannot stand hummus. Get hummus within 3 feet of me, and I burst into flame. So, as you can see, I was built in with the predisposition to be anti-hippie. And coincidentally, I happen to live in Seattle, surrounded by hippies. Not much I can do about it. I just have to keep my distance, or else I will burst into flames. So, gnomish bacon, says Droxo. Now that would be amazing. So, a gnome pig hybrid, slaughtered, roasted over an open spit, and then stripped into bacon. All right, I'm starting to be with you on this. I see a market for that particular type of edible. We should go into business. Ever had pine roasted hummus, said Droxo. No, I've never had pine roasted hummus. I think that does a disservice to the pine, right? Pine roasted anything usually sounds good. I'll have pine roasted bacon. I'll have pine roasted pot roast. I'll have pine roasted potatoes stuffed into a pig, roasted over open spit. But I will not have pine roasted hummus, because pine deserves better than that. El Toro Guaco says, now we know your weakness. Man, that's what I get. I bring you into confidence with me. I'm trying to open up and share a part of my life. And then, of course, I've discovered you're going to use my weaknesses against me. Church Monkey says, cool music in the background. I can't hear it as well as the last time I saw you. That's because I have it far away from my speakers. Or from my microphone. So here, let me... There you go. Music should be a little louder. If it's too much, let me know. And I will do my very best to help. Elizabeth says, now I know what to stuff his next cigar with. No. One shall not ruin the sanctity of a cigar by stuffing it with hummus. That is going down in my next holy book, which I published myself, apparently. Just right there for the music. It's good? Alright. Gummer Brown asks an interesting question. Do you roll your own cigars? No. It's not like cigarettes where you can go get the wrapper and roll your own cigarettes. People take pride in cigars that are made in the Dominican Republic or in Nicaragua, or if you are in Canada and can do so, purchasing those that are made in Cuba. It's less nice. I mean, cigars are typically not considered to be quite as nice if they're actually made in America or in some other country. Really, the quality cigars do come from the Caribbean, right? So, no, people do not typically roll their own cigars, although I have been fascinated by the idea. I've seen a number of great videos that show off people rolling their own cigars, and I'd love to try sometime. Viadis says, I may be joining you in smoking next week, Oxhorn, seeing as I turn 18 between then and now. Well, congratulations on turning 18. I highly encourage you to explore a number of different legal things. If you would take my personal advice, steer completely clear of cigarettes, because there's really no way to enjoy those responsibly. And if you do try some tobacco, try a cigar or a gentlemanly tobacco pipe, but really only buy one. Only buy one cigar because you don't want to waste money if it's something you don't enjoy. And if you do purchase a cigar, get a light Maduro. You want a cigar that's got a light wrapper because those are going to be a little bit weaker and they're going to be easier for your first time smoking a cigar. If you find one with a really dark wrapper, those are the kind I like, but they tend to be incredibly strong and you really feel them quickly. So try a cigar that's got a lighter wrapper, maybe a Robusto sized, not a Churchill size, something a little smaller, and then you don't inhale. Most people don't know that. You don't actually inhale the smoke from cigars or tobacco pipes. You just bring it into your mouth, taste the tobacco, and then expel it. Anyway, that's my advice. Congratulations on turning 18. I hope you can come to the show next week, or maybe send us a picture of yourself with your tobacco. So for those of you asking about the fan art, I'm terribly sorry. I saw your fan art on Facebook, but my system is lagging yet again. I'm going to have to work on something else. Maybe over this weekend I'm going to completely redo my office, maybe get a couple of machines working, so I've got the GPUs of a number of graphics cards helping me here. I'm going to try and figure out something so that we can get a less laggy stream, but I will show off your fan art next week. I haven't forgotten about you. I'm going to get it and show it off next week, so tune in next week to see your fan art. I just can't do it today because of the lag. I'm sorry. 50K Cal says, hey Oxhorn, no offense, just asking, what are you covering under that hat? Are you bald? The answer is no, I am not bald. And for those who have been going to the program for a very long time, you understand that this is not a hat. This is, in effect, my head. So asking me what's under the hat is basically like me going up to you and saying, what's inside your skull? Because to take off my hat is, of course, to take off the top of my skull. And you're not scalpers. You don't go around scalping people. So that is, in effect, a very rude question. Just saying. I'm not going to hold offense, but I'm not taking off the top of my head. But no, there is as much hair up here and classy attributes as there is here down here. So. Uber Rafflemouse says, I hope you show off mine. Of course I'm going to show off yours. Don't you worry about it. But I'm going to have to wait till next week. So be sure to tune in next week. Same Ox channel, same Ox time. My mustache thwarts me. Lithium says, is it called a derby hat? Yes. In America, these are called derbies. In the United Kingdom, these are called bowler hats. But they're different words that refer to the same style of hat. And you know what? This is starting to bug me. This is called Scotch and smoke rings. And you have not yet seen a very good smoke ring. So here we go. I'm going to do this. Frustrating. Well, that's what I get for not using my mustache wax. You know, people are telling me to trim it. And yet I refuse. Finally, there we go. A nice collection of smoke rings. So now people can't say, this is Scotch and smoke rings, and I don't see any Scotch or smoke rings. There you go. You've got some smoke rings, and here are some Scotch. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. Let's see. I think I might have to go through and ban some people on Twitch. Because cute little hardcore kitten is not here. So let's see. Banning you. And... oh, I guess that's the only one. I thought there was another one that I was going to ban. Nope. Cool. Just one. Berzerkle says, your beard, I wants it. Well, good sir, I understand that there are many people out there who suffer from something called beard envy. And that's okay. That's okay. It's quite understandable. It's a good, healthy thing to have, a desire for a beard. And that is why I created a website called growabeardnow.com. All one word, growabeardnow.com. Go there, see my trailer about growing beards, and then there you can find a selection of very classy, gentlemanly beard growth products, including beard growth pills and beard growth chin lube, that you can use on your chin to help you grow a manly and classy beard if you find yourself follicularly deficient. Burgundy22 gave a hyperlink, so there you go. Just saying, I wish I could share the beard, but all I can share is my beardly knowledge. Okay, Deadly22 says, can you tell us about yourself for us new people and why you're on Twitch and on WoW part? Yeah, I think that's fair. I've been doing this for 201 weeks. Many of you know me as Oxhorn, and many of you have seen my Oxhorn videos, including Rafflemel, and the Inventing Swearbird series, and the Associate Professor Evil series, and an Oxhorn Band medley, and the Anti-Elf Anthem, and Epic Raids, and Like the Game, and Orcs in Space. Anyway, I created a lot of geeky World of Warcraft machinima movies. And that's why the majority of you all are here, because you became fans of my movies, and so you went to my website, and you subscribed to my blog, and you come to my show. The reason I'm in the World of Warcraft channel is because I make my movies using World of Warcraft artwork. So the vast majority of people who come to watch the show also have played World of Warcraft. That is why I'm on a video game streaming site with permission from the fine fellows at Twitch TV, and I'm in the World of Warcraft channel. Uber Rathmal says, where you think I get my name from? Oxhorn, that's where, lol. And indeed he does. He's getting that from Mortus, one of my characters, who walks around saying, lol, Rathmal. Roxers, boxers, what the good? Etc., etc., etc. Sean That Rock says, I'm starting to grow some epic sideburns. Well, congratulations to you, good sir. I do think that a fully rounded, classy man is a beard whose beard is fully rounded. However, sideburns are definitely better than having none at all, and that is a fantastic place to start. In fact, you could go to growabeardnow.com, and I've got a blog post about different beard and mustache styles, and sideburns are one of those epic styles, so... Associate Professor Evil says, I got mine from Oxhorn as well. Indeed he did. His name is from Associate Professor Evil, a.k.a. Lieutenant Colonel Virtue, spoiler alert, a.k.a. Mr. Evil. Doomagan says, Oxhorn, we all know that you hate elves, gnomes, and pandas. But do you hate any Star Wars or Star Trek aliens? Yes. I hate, in Star Wars, what's his name? Of course, the guy everybody hates. Misa Jar Jar Binks, right? That guy. I hate that guy. And I'm not unique in hating that guy, but I do hate that guy. In terms of other Other characters that I hate. I don't really hate any other Star Wars fellows. I don't really hate any Star Trek. I can't think of any Star Trek creatures that I loathe. The Tribbles, the Tribbles were just cute. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. It's like fuzzy, squeaky mold that invades your ship. I don't know. No, I can't think of any Star Trek ones that I hate. Ninja Vaw says, why hate Jar Jar? He's a silly character. That's why I hate Jar Jar. He's a silly character. Anytime you've got a silly character in something that's supposed to be, at least take itself seriously, but not too seriously, then, I don't know. Lepidus of Rune Totem says, Picard or Kirk? Ah, that's a rough one. I would have said Picard in my younger days. I would have always said Picard because I've always been a fan of The Next Generation. And I've been a very big fan of Picard's sort of cool-headed leadership. However, I've been watching the old Captain Kirk series, and I'm starting to develop a bigger appreciation for Kirk's leadership style. So it's a hard one for me. I'm gonna go ahead and say Picard, just because I've had more time to think about Picard, but they're both really good. Ironbark says, Picard, unless you like fragmented speak. Ironbark, I don't know what you're talking about. What did you think of the latest 2 Star Trek movies? Asks El Toro Guaco. Great question. I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet. And I liked the first one. It didn't blow me away. The first Star Wars reboot movie, it wasn't like, wow, this is amazing. But as I was watching it, I was going, okay, yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying this experience. And the commercials for the second one were really cool. I am looking forward to seeing the second movie. And then all my coworkers came to the office after seeing the movie over the opening weekend, and they raved about it. So I'm really looking forward to the second movie. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I have not yet seen it yet. El Toro Guaco says the second one will blow you away. Good, I'm looking forward to it. Autumn says, which do you prefer, Star Trek or Star Wars? Star Trek. Now, I don't say that because I hate Star Wars fans. And I definitely don't hate Star Wars. But there's just something more interesting about a universe really dominated by science and men and diplomacy and philosophy and guns. I just find that really fascinating because that's the Star Trek universe. It's all about which alien species is better armed, which one has the best technology, which one has the best scientists, which ones have evolved. And then it also goes really deep into like ethical philosophy. Is it ethically okay to go to an unevolved planet and bring higher technology to a lower technology species? As humans, we've never had to deal with that conundrum before because we obviously haven't gotten to that point, but in Star Trek you can deal with those kinds of things. Now, Star Wars is great. It's a wonderful space opera. I love the storytelling. The entire Force concept, to me, is not interesting. I mean, they tried to make it more scientific with the movies that were released in the late 90s, talking about the midichlorians and all of that jazz. But before that, it was really just about... the Force is strong with this one. I don't know, I guess I kind of am frustrated by the idea that you can live in a universe where you have these good forces and these bad forces, and the rare individuals that can tap into these streams of energy are going to have an inordinate amount of power over other people that just will never, no matter what they do, attain that. And I realize that in the real world that's kind of the way it is, because people are born into wealth and prosperity and by consequence power, not by anything that they have done, but by simply being born. And so that's somewhat true. But from an American perspective, and definitely from a Western world perspective, we have the idea that there is this freedom that you can that you have in a nation that allows you to have freedom, and that if you have that freedom, you can achieve the American dream, so to speak, which is earning what you want and having the job that you need and making money to get yourself into a better position so that you can have more wealth and power. And that is what I like about Star Trek. Right. Fallen says, I know he was writing a book which has now been published. Indeed, I have. It is 41 minutes into the program, and I now feel that we have enough viewers right now that it makes it worth my time to say The Tale of Cloran Hastings, which of course is my fantasy, adventure, swashbuckling, young adult nautical novel, is published and available to the public. You can purchase it as an ebook for $9.99 from Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, or you can purchase the paperback version for $19.99. In fact, I think they're actually giving a deal on it on Amazon right now, if you want. Or this fine hardcover version is a cool $30. CloranHastings.com, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my novel. I promise you will not get bored, and you will not regret the purchase. The Tale of Cloran Hastings, available in a bookstore near you someday. Bobby Swag says Barnes & Noble. Yes, BarnesandNoble.com. It's not available in the Barnes & Noble brick-and-mortar stores yet. However, it is available at Elliott Bay Bookstore here in Seattle. So if you live in the Seattle area and you want to go to Capitol Hill, head on down to the Elliott Bay Bookstore. They're open till 11 tonight. You can grab a copy. And the nice thing about those versions is I've actually signed them. And I left a little secret message inside each one. I'm not sure how many are left. There were 5 left when I was there last, and I signed each one. But those are available at the Elliott Bay Book Company in Capitol Hill of Seattle. And up for grabs. Go get them. Cat Call says Borders Books. I think Borders is out of business. I'm pretty sure they're completely gone. Let's see. I banned someone. Yay! I got to ban someone. Oh, it's someone to enjoy it. That's probably a taint in my personality, but I do get a thrill when I get to ban someone forever. Findora the Almighty Hunter says no sound on YouTube. Ox. Well, this is a work in progress. At least you're able to hear me on Twitch TV. Are you sure there's no sound? Sorry, I should be speaking right now. Yeah, I was getting distracted by looking at my live stream on YouTube right now, and apparently people are unable to hear it. Well, that's a bummer. I'm going to have to figure that out and fix it. But thankfully you guys can hear it, and I will upload this version to YouTube after the show. Again, I should be speaking right now, but I'm just getting lost in all of the chat. Cute little hardcore kitten says, it's fun, isn't it? Well, I'm so glad that you're here, cute little hardcore kitten. I've been banning people as best as I can, but now that you're here, I will leave that job to you. I believe banning is in capable hands. Hey, man, you did it, my friend. Congratulations. I was just hovering over it and you got to it before I did. Jinra says, do you stay in character at work? Well, the truth to that is that I'm actually not really in character. This is just kind of me. Like, I don't feel like I'm performing right now. Although, when you get somebody in front of a camera, I suppose he inherently becomes someone slightly different than who he is in real life. But, no, I'm pretty much the same guy. The beard doesn't come off when I go to work, and the suspenders still stay on, and I tend to wear hats at work, so... Associate Professor Evil says Stargate or Star Trek? Star Trek. I still like Stargate, but Star Trek. Where's the Scotch? Says Dan's 20. Right here, my friend. Jinra says, nifty right on high fiver. High five to you, my friend. Warcraft Lulz says, is that weed? For some reason, the people on Twitch TV are fascinated by what some people refer to as pot. I, however, am not fascinated by it. This is, in fact, pipe tobacco. Because before there were crack pipes, and before there were pot bongs, there were, in fact, things called tobacco pipes, used by the classiest of gentlemen going as far back as C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. That is, in fact, what I'm smoking today. Sean That Rocks says, Ox, you don't seem like a person that ever played WoW. Thank you? Depending on the context of that, exactly what kind of person do you think is a person that could play WoW? I mean, we definitely know what South Park thinks about World of Warcraft players. And if that's the kind of person you think plays WoW, then thank you. If, however, you think something a little bit more positively about a person who plays WoW, then I can simply say that my geek credentials are safe and sound. I have played World of Warcraft in my life. I am a Legionnaire, which meant a lot more back in 2007. Anyway. Hunter1399 says, I love the music. Well, I'm so glad. I love the music too. For those interested, this is a free streaming radio station online. I have no affiliation with them. They're called Radio Dismuke. D-I-S-M-U-K-E. They've never heard of me. I've got no affiliation with them. But I'm allowed to stream their music free on my show. Burgundy22 says, when did you start playing WoW? I started playing WoW when it first came out. 2004? Whenever it first came out, that's when I first started. I was in college at the time, so of course I had an ample amount of free time. It's funny how that works. You're in college and you think that your schedule is so rough and that you just don't have time in the day, and yet you have the time to play World of Warcraft, like I did. Of course, if you have a different degree, maybe it's a little bit more demanding. Like if you're going to become a lawyer, then you definitely don't have the free time. But when I was in college, I did have the free time, and now that I've graduated, I no longer have the free time. So Navist says 2001. It started in 2005. Are you sure it was 2005? No. I mean, I was in the beta, so maybe that's why I'm thinking 2004. Anyway, I've been playing it for a very long time. Yeah, everyone's saying 2004. Yeah, there you go. November 23rd, 2004 to be precise, says Greg Hartung. Alright, we're all set on when World of Warcraft came out. Good. That's when I started making movies and playing the game. So by golly, that means that some of my movies will turn 10 years old next year. Time does fly. Ironbark says, do you remember when Ultima Online came out, Oxhorn? I do. It was huge when I was a kid. I remember when Ultima Online came out. I played Ultima Online. I remember when the different shards came out and you could go between different universes by clicking on rocks or something. I remember when they had the housing system and that came out. I purchased a log cabin, but I couldn't actually place it in the world because so many people had put their houses in the world. I have fond memories of Ultima Online. Apparently it's still going on today. Hunter1399 says, what did you major in? I majored in history with an emphasis on classical Greek and Roman history. I was originally a Scandinavian studies major, which is why I can speak a little Swedish, but I quickly switched from Scandinavian studies to history. And now I work in technology, which has absolutely nothing to do with history. So. There we go. Mr. Poodle says, Swedes, assemble! Very Ron Burgundy-ish, I think. Soda Poppin' says, do you work for Microsoft? That's in the Seattle area. I don't. However, many of my coworkers are former Microsoft employees, but there are more big companies in Seattle than just Microsoft. For example, Starbucks is in Seattle and Amazon is in Seattle. I did used to work for Amazon. Good company to work for. And there are wings of other companies in Seattle as well. For example, Facebook has a campus here, and Google has a campus here. And then there are a bunch of other technology companies that you might not have heard of that are here as well. El Toro Guaco says, could you tell us something you learned about Scandinavia? Yes, I can tell you the original recipe for lutefisk. So, a traditional Christmas dish in Sweden and in Scandinavia proper is a fish dish called lutefisk. And what they would do, because there was no refrigeration, is they would catch a big fish. And then they would dig a hole. Really, really deep. And they would put it in the hole. And then they would cover it over. The reason for that was because the cold, cold ground acted like a refrigerator and it would keep it cool. And then when it was around Christmas time, they would dig the fish back up. And it had rotted a little bit since then, you know. And then to get all of the dirt off of it, they would boil it. Right? So they would boil this fish and put a whole bunch of salt. Well, there was a bunch of salt that they put on the fish to help preserve it. So they would boil the fish to get a lot of the dirt and salt out of it. And then you would have this kind of gray, boiled, slimy fish. So to make it a little bit more appealing, they would take a bunch of stale bread that they had left out, and they would throw that in the boiled, dirty, salt fish water. Now, all of the dry, stale bread would congeal, and it would turn to this little bread salt fishy paste, which they would spread on their gray, slimy fish meat. And that, apparently, was a huge success. They loved it. It became like a very traditional dish. Not my thing. No, I'm not terribly into lutefisk, so yeah. But that's one thing that I learned about Scandinavia. Sean That Rock says, what's your job, Mr. Oxhorn? I am in marketing. I am a technical marketing manager at the company I work for, and I do search engine optimization, search engine marketing, content creation, WordPress, website design, blogging, and the like. Jester X Strife says that beard is epic. Why, thank you, good sir. I am happy to oblige. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. drunksgaming says, does domain registration length affect Google rankings? In fact, it does. The longer your domain name, the worse your website is going to rank. Also, the more words you use in your domain name, separated by, of course, underscores or dashes, the worse your website is going to rank. Case in point, there's actually a really popular blog, and they do a lot of SEO postings, and they talk about digital marketing, but it's only popular because it's gotten a lot of attention from referral traffic. It doesn't actually rank well in search engines because the domain name for this blog is 0110110110010001101. Yeah, so that's the name of the blog. That's the actual domain name. Google just has a predilection to not like to rank domain names that are long or filled with numbers or filled with symbols. Navis says you can buy your spot on the top. Yes and no. I mean, if you can't buy your spot on the top of the organic rankings, but you can purchase search engine marketing ads using Google AdWords. And depending on the bid and the keywords and how popular those keywords are, you could potentially find the very top spot with the yellow background on Google for most of the keywords that you wish to rank for. However, if there's a lot of competition for those keywords, then you're going to have to spend a lot more money. So usually the companies that have more money outrank those that don't have a lot. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few minutes left until the program ends. So thank you all for coming. But for those who are brand new, okay, the person saying say my name in chat, I'm not going to. So there you go. Am I related to Victor French from Little House on the Prairie? Cat Call, sadly, I don't know enough about Little House on the Prairie. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. Wait, you guys just distracted me. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, smoke ship time. At the end of every episode, I blow a smoke ship into existence with nothing but the power of my being and smoke. So, what is on your mind, ladies and gentlemen? I will blow a smoke ship crafted after your directions. Give me an idea, and I will do my very best to create a masterpiece for all of you. Thank you, cute little hardcore kitten. Sean That Rocks says, I just hit follow and I'll see you in the next stream. Thank you very much. I'm so glad that you did. Oh, here we go. Ninja of WoW says, Oxhorn eating gnomish bacon while surrounded by hippie elves and angry gnomes. Jar Jar Binks getting punted by Staghorn over Pandaria. Mortus and Professor Evil in an eating contest, while Raloran is judging them. Nova, Evil, Oxhorn, and Baby Gavin captured by the Alliance Pandas, and Ghoulbreath, Ninja of WoW, and Mr. 8-Ball are going to save them with Hardcore Kitten leading them on a Horde Destroyer. Ironbark, by the way, is dancing around in his bear form in front of the Daleks. Yeah, that took 3 different posts for him to get that in there. I'm actually impressed. Nicely done. Autumn says Oxhorn captaining the Starship Enterprise, bringing his classiness to new worlds and sending a shuttle to pick the orcs in space. But maybe we like them in space, right? Maybe that's part of their charm. Findora says Oxhorn on a battle airship armed with gnome rocket launchers to give swift justice to the evils of the world. Nice. El Toro Guaco says you didn't check Twitter this time. That's true, I didn't, because I had to turn off everything in order to do this stream. Sorry about that. Uber Ralphamau says Oxhorn searches for stash wax while he and Picard kill pandas and Jar Jar Binks. Alright, these are all great ideas. Looking for something nautical, looking for something really about a ship. Doomagain says Oxhorn and the gang sailing on a man of war through a sea of Scotch, shooting bacon at hippie elves and pandas while poking Jar Jar Binks. Oh, while poking Jar Jar Binks' eyes out with fish hooks. Getting a little dark there at the end. I actually like it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, great ideas. I am going to go ahead and do Doomageddon's smoke ship today, because it was very shippish. At least it reminded me of ships. So, great ideas all. Thank you so much. Whoa! Woo! I hope you didn't blink, because if you did, you missed it. But for the briefest of moments before your very eyes was Oxhorn and the gang sailing on a man-of-war vessel through a sea of Scotch, shooting bacon at hippie elves and pandas while poking out the eyes of Jar Jar Binks with fish hooks. All painted in smoke right here, only at scotchandsmokerings.com. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I know, it's a rare thing to witness. It's kind of like an eclipse. Only happens every now and then. Unless, of course, you attend Scotch and Smoke Rings. And then it happens every week at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time at scotchandsmokerings.com every Thursday. So thank you all very much for coming to this week's episode. Please tune in next week, same Ox time, same Ox channel, where we will have even more epicness and hopefully less lag. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen, and be sure, my friends, to stay classy.